Okay, today we're going to look at this Loop Gear SK05 Pro. Stay tuned. Okay, let's go through the pros and cons real quick. Replaceable, what the heck? Thunder and lightning. Replaceable batteries, easy UI, power bank feature, charge discharge, flexible beam too, compact-ish, right? There's two batteries in there, it's still compact. Big capacity, there's two 4,000 milliamps battery. Single cell use, it's in parallel. Magnet, fit and finish, very good. User selectable clip, can install this way or that way. Con, heavy-ish. Wish list, I wish there was a brighter side light. It's not a con, I'm just hoping for a brighter one in the future. For hikers, EDC, the whole slew of repair, mechanic, electrician, construction, that kind of thing. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Let's just go through the pros in more detail. So replaceable batteries, here, just press a button, it locks, but you can press a button. Here we have two 4,000 milliamp batteries. Now, that makes this light a future-proof light, I suppose, or it could be the last flashlight you ever own, because this can last decades because it has a replaceable thing. And then maybe in the future there'll be more efficient batteries, and then you can upgrade that battery capacity in the future. But replaceable batteries, it's a big step for some people, because some people cannot or do not want to get into built-in batteries. So this gives them an option to enjoy the kind of trendy lights where you have multiple features, a lot of different kind of beams. Okay, second, UI. Very simple. We have a lock here. Rotate it to the flood. Rotate it to the spotlight. Rotate it to the side light. And just like that. So very easy. On and off, and then hold to ramp. And it's memorized. And what's great about the memory is actually memorized for each and every beam. So what you have is you can put the flood, for example, you're going to walk, you can put the flood at low, and then you can choose to put the spot in the highest. And what that will do is allow you to walk with the flood. And if you needed to see something farther away, is that a cat? Is that a skunk? What is it? You can just rotate it, switch to that, rotate, spot it, rotate it back. So this kind of memory for each single one, it's a great detail that they have in the UI. Now we also have the triple click, which will activate both into a crazy strobe when you go into it. We also have, in addition to the lock, we actually have when you put it into either the flood or the throw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what that does, so it ended up in red. What that does is it means that if you're inside any of the other non-locking modes and it sits for about 60 seconds, the flash will actually lock. And so this prevents accidental activation. That may be a time when, I don't know, maybe if you find that when you put it in your pocket, it actually rotates the dial by accident, or you just wanted to make sure that's not going to come on inside your bag or anything like that, you could leave in that mode or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now it's in green. So green, it disables that. And then if you have an lock, and it'll show you actually if you hold it, this will disable that auto lock feature. So it basically, it makes it impossible to have an accidental turn on, even though it has a very easy UI that switched from lock to unlock. The double click will give you in the turbo for each one, whichever you're in, or holding on will give you both massive throw. You should look at the beam shots for more about that. And then if I go into the side, right, click on, so double click and it'll just kind of go through the different types of awesome things. So right now I have it on this very bluish, let me shut this so you can see better, this more bluish type of light. Actually, you can change this. So if you can change the tint. So what you have is low, medium, high, just like the hold for the other ones, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and now switch to warm, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's neutral, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's the cool. So cool light is definitely the brightest. Now this kind of area light is more for close use, hands-free use. You can strap it onto your bag and then have hands-free, be able to work on something, but I wouldn't use this for navigating. I don't think it's strong enough for navigating. That's why I said in my wish list, maybe somehow they can get this brighter even brighter setting. Maybe it's not possible because it's so compact. So you can imagine when I open it, you imagine how much space it's in there. This thing's barely bigger than 2 cells. So they made it super compact. If they were to tell me that in order to make this part brighter, we would have to make the flashing much bigger, I would say no, keep it compact. I think that as compact as possible is a better. You have this side thing, so it's great for area lighting, kind of like a table inside your tent. Close things indoors, hands-free at any point, just not far for navigating. Okay, and then let's see, what did I not touch on? You can hold on this, change the color. Green is probably the brightest. Switch to that. Here's the breathing. Switch the colors, just holding it. Okay, switch the colors, no problem. Okay, now switch the colors, easy. And this one, okay, so this is more of like the specialty range. So for this mode, you actually can switch it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can get different ones. So I guess instead of cluttering putting all these different things in the row of groups, that they decide to put this in a subgroup. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have this, change the color 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of ping pong. If you hold it, it'll speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the rainbow. Hold on to it, affect the speed. So basically holding on to it affects the speed, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 will toggle between that subgroup for this specific one. Now, what they have also is a police strobe, and that is 1, 2, 3, and it'll give you the police, and then you can hold, and it'll switch to the white and red. Check your local laws to see what's illegal. This is SOS, and then back to police strobes. On the other ones, they'll give you a triple click that give you a strobe. 1, 2, 3. Holy crap, that's crazy. It'll give you a strobe on the flood and the spot. So the triple click basically gives you the police. So it's kind of like what gives you the most attention. They put it in the triple clicks for each one of these. That's the UI. You can actually set this and forget this and just leave it on this if you want. And then it's just basically an easy UI where you have a flood, spot, right? Or this close-up flood, right? So you can just do that. You don't have to get into these other, fidget or color things if you don't want to. Of course, you can play around with it. It's very much fun. It looks great for making content, etc. Now, the power bank feature, you can plug it in Type-C to charge this thing, and then you can charge out. So that's an absolutely great feature. I love that because normally I would have to carry a power bank and a flashlight, but with this I can consolidate into one. So despite this is heavier, it can function as a power bank, so you actually can remove one item from your EDC bag and have from 2 items to 1. That's great. So flexible beam, we have a flood here. You can see triple beam, has a nice glow in the dark. Then we have the spot, it looks really great. You'll have to see the beam shots too. Put it into spot, okay, so you can see it. Actually, it's hard to see. You'll have to see the beam shot. So you have a nice tight circle, and then you have the spill on it. Really great, flexible if you need to do spot farther, or you have a flood for when you're walking or hiking. Okay, and then compact-ish, yeah, as you can see, it's basically not much more than 2 cells. It's basically housing the cells, almost like a carrier for the cells. Clip, very good. Okay, and then moving along, we have big capacity. Because it takes 2 cells, each one's worth 4,000. That is 8,000 milliamps of capacity. Quite big, quite a lot. Do you need a lot of capacity or not? Well, basically this flashlight can run on 1 if you wanted to. So if you want to take 1 cell out, now it's significantly more lighter, I can feel. Without it, and does it run without it? Yeah, of course. So you can basically choose whether you want this flashlight to run on 1 or 2 cells. So for example, maybe you're just EDC daily, you may not need to run 2 if you don't want to. And if you're going on a hike, you may want to have 2, you just want to have the extra runtime. Does it make sense? So it's really great that you have this kind of option. How heavy, how light you want to make it. The magnet is great, so you can attach it to any kind of surface, whether it's your car and you need to do tire change, toolbox, your fridge, onto your cooking top, anywhere that you can attach this light onto a piece of metal so that you can have hands-free lighting. You don't have to worry. That's why it's really great for like electricians and repair people, etc. Okay, fit and finish is superb. Love the styling itself. It just looks amazing. I love the little details they put on it. This is the mouth finish. and it's actually quite good. It feels like a kind of like a stone wash, but very good. Everything feels very tight and very good finish. No problem at all. This hardware feels good. It's completely flat, really good. And then even this, there's a little rubber piece here. When you're attaching on something, it creates the little friction thing. Ooh, no shortcuts on it. So very good. Love it. User selectable clip, whether you want this to face up or down in your pocket. So that depends on how you carry it. I rather it facing up for me. This can actually fit. This is the maximum I think you could fit inside your jean pocket. I wouldn't want to put anything more. I think 18650 is probably the widest I would put on for my pocket, and I would just want this facing up, so just in case no accidental like activation in my pocket. And then it also keeps the switch out of the pocket on above, so I like it like this. Obviously you're not going to use this as a cap, it's going to be much too heavy. Much of the weight, which is the cells here, will be deep in the pocket. Very good, nicely designed. If you wanted to look at the specs, let's just go through the specs really quickly. 228 grams with the battery, without the battery 128 grams. And then we have IP68 waterproof. We have, here's the runtime. So spotlight, we have the spotlight, we have 1300 to 600 to 40. So basically you get that 40 seconds or half a minute about 1300 lumens for the spotlight if we're going to spot something for shortly, but it'll ramp down. I mean, there's only so much heatsink in this kind of form factor, right? If you want to make it compact, so it'll go down to 600. So 600 is where you can see the limit for this thing in the spotlight mode. And then you see the 40. So that's actually, I love that fact. When I saw that, I was like, that's actually good, because at the last 30 minutes you'll have 40 lumens. So essentially you're not going to be left without a light in emergency, so the light won't just conk out and you'll be left in the dark. So I like that last 30 minutes of 40 lumens that you get on turbo and high, just in case, so you're not left stranded. So turbo 13 to 600, we have highs at the 600 for 3.5 hours, medium 220 for 11.5 hours, low is 40 lumens at 58. You don't have a moonlight, that is more of the side lights. It's more of the moonlight because it's more of a close area lighting. Floodlight, we have turbo, so you're getting a lot more lumens with the floodlight because you have 3 LEDs. 3060, and then ramps down to 950, so we have about 1000-ish, which makes sense for this format. Then you have that last 30 minutes of 50 minutes. Here 950 for high, down to 50 for the last 30 minutes, medium 350 for 11 hours, low 50 lumens for 52 hours. Okay, so yep, that's it. I think that's all of the flashlight. This is really a cool flashlight that I can think hikers would use, because it's not only has plenty of power and it has a lot of flexible type of beams, but it's also a power bank if you need an emergency if you're hiking. EDC also, because it can essentially remove the power bank out of your EDC, and then you can warrant taking this heavier flashlight in the daytime, even though you don't need something so powerful, because it has multiple functions. And of all the repair people, mechanics and stuff like that, they'll love something like this. So that's pretty much it. We have beam shots coming up, and then you can see how it is. Okay, outdoor beam shots. Here's the light, here's the locked. So flip it into flood. You actually see the battery capacity every time you switch it, which is cool. You get an idea. So here's the flood. Low, medium, high. Low, medium, high. Double click turbo. Triple click strobe. Wow, that's too crazy. Okay, let's put that on low. I'll flip it to the spotlight. 1, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. So I can leave this on high, for example. Leave this one on low, you're going for a walk, and just flip the switch. If you want to see something down the trail, low, high. Blast that guy. Ooh. Low. Does it memorize the turbo? Let's see. Double click, that's turbo. No, wait. Did it just go into turbo? Oh, I see. I think it just, so if you go into turbo and the flood, then switch. I think it's turbo in the other one. So it keeps turbo. So let's see. Okay. Let's So make sure we go on this on low, and then I go turbo, flip the switch. Yeah, it's on turbo. Okay, so if you're in turbo and you toggle between the flood and the spot, it stays in turbo. Okay, and if you do the, let's see, if you do individual low, medium, high, it'll actually save it individually. So again, spotlight to high and flood to low. So walking light here, then I have a spot, walking, instant spot, just rotating, walking, instant spot. Okay, and then we have rotated to the flood. This is this one of the disco lights, switches to the side light. We have a low, medium, high. How does that look? Low, medium, high. Not that bright. You really need a dark room or dark area. So this is more of a hands-free. You need hands-free to operate something. Clip it onto your body. God, why is there so many fucking noisy fuckers out here? Sorry. So, clip it onto your body, and then you have hands-free, or like on the table, a more dark area. You definitely can't navigate with this. So, but the low is actually quite low. So I think some of the complaints is that there's no moonlight in the other modes, and I think this is good enough for moonlight. So there's this. Okay, and then double click the solid color, and then just everything else. There's this breathing, droplets, and then this. Cool. So a lot of cool functions with this thing. And also the Big Bang, just hold it when you have it in flood or spot, they're gonna glow in the dark. You just have to, Jesus, can you focus? Hold down a button and you just have full amount, just blasting the cars. Suck it. What do you think? Awesome flashlight, especially because it has a power bank feature. This section's a little bit darker. Ooh. Double click, that is turbo on the flood. If I flip, it should stay in turbo for the spotlight. Oh yeah, look at that far distance flood. So best of both worlds. Even with the turbo, you can see that there's a wall of blackness somewhere back there. That's the disadvantage of having high lumens without a throw. But then you have the throw, best of both worlds, all in one. Don't have to switch flashlights when you do it. And then of course, let's try for both. Shut it off and then press hold. And that's both of the LED illuminating, maximum power, and then let go when you're done. Maximum power to boost for assailants. Defensive light, maybe? Triple click, wow. Defensive light? What do you think? So, yeah, my favorite is walking with the low. Don't need more than that to navigate through here. Let's see, without it, it's dark. Not stepping on any random poop. Completely dark, well, spooky. Ah, much better. Then, dang. Is that a skunk? Is that a cat? Awesome. What an awesome light. Seriously. This can be your last flashlight, especially with the replaceable batteries.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
So cool, so very cool. Look at that, lightsaber action. It's not even on turbo, that's turbo. Lightsaber. Dang. This thing's a beast. Damn, look at it light up that thing away. What the hell? Dang, oh, I can feel the head getting hot. Whew. crazy, man. Crazy. Back into the flood. Dope. Love this light. And then instead of like, because it doesn't have built-in batteries, you can bring extra cells. You don't have to top it off like a built-in battery flashlight. Extra cells in case you need to have more runtime or you need power bank features. Boom. Dang, man. All right, that's it. Is that too long of a beam shot review? Thanks for watching.